For now anyways, right? For as long as you need it, you hang on to this as long as you want to. It's got dust on it. I'm going to wash it before I pack it up, but hang on to it as long as you want to. I'm just going to show you how it goes together here. Pretty straightforward. You got the tray on the bottom, and you got your pitcher underneath. And these arms swing, you want to be careful because this is like its weakness, right? The new design, I was telling you, I have a newer one, doesn't have these arms like this. It's got a sheathing that just kind of fits and locks in and pops out. But it's fine, it's good, it works just as well. It's just be conscientious about that. If you bust anything, if anything happens with this or whatever, and you need to get a replacement part, the numbers on the thing, you just call them up and you overnight it or something like that and keep juicing. So this is the main casing, it slides right in. I mean, you're very smart, this is very simple, I'm just running through it just because it's new for you, so there's no reason not to, right? The most important thing about putting this together, and it really is critical that you do this every time because if you don't, it'll break the machine. This is a broken set from someone trying to use it and didn't do this, and it broke the plastic, so now it couldn't be used. I'm not gonna give those to you. There's a 2 dot here and there's a 1 dot here, and the 1 has to be within the 2, so they have to link up. So I'll just come up and zoom up, even though I know you're very smart and you understand the concept right away. But it's very important that that's the case, and then once you have that situation, it doesn't matter if it spins at all, but it needs to be together, and you hold it together as one. And the 2 as 1, this needs to go on this side, you'll figure it out. Slide it in, and when it gets to the back, it'll kind of hit, and you'll feel like a little jiggle. Kind of rotate them in and out a little bit, and make sure it settles itself all the way, and you want it to really like shift in. It can be a pain in the ass if you didn't, if you're not sure, it can be a little cumbersome. Just twist it, rotate it in, and until it clicks, like a key or a lock. Your screen goes on next. I think it says, it doesn't really matter which side is forwards, it's the same screen, it's a very fine screen, so this will keep all the fiber out. And again, the situation with fiber, it's not that fiber's bad, but when it comes to absorbing vitamin mineral content for the purpose of stimulating healing properties in the body, healing abilities of the body, the fiber is an unnecessary need for digestion, which reduces the energy that can be released into the rest of the body to become more effective. And then again, that stacks with the enzymes and the probiotics. That really is what creates unexpected results, is a high intake of those things, because they are essentially captured life energy within food that we would normally eat and take a long time to absorb, and it's concentrating all that. And it's all that energy that's needed for all of the chemical processes to take place that involves the regrowth of bone, hair, tissue, skin, and things like that, and muscle and new cells. All the new growth, all the budding that happens, comes from and is necessitated upon enzymes. So without that, there is none of that happening. And the situation with food is in the intake of food, and why it's the raw living food is really the key to this whole idea, is the raw living food, right? That I can't overemphasize again, is that the life in the food basically gives your body all that extra juice. So enough said. We'll talk more about juice. These screw on tight. You don't want to over screw, and you want to screw them on sort of at the same time, so that they both get about the same amount of tension together. You can crack I cracked the plastic casing on this with overuse after a few years, and so this is actually brand new casing, so it's very strong, but just be aware of that. It will turn orange because you'll be juicing turmeric, or if you choose to juice turmeric, it will turn orange. It's just going to turn orange, so you just go with it, it's not a big deal. Lock this in place, clips in, there's a little divot there that it goes in, and then there's an arrow. Put the arrow facing to the back, and it slides in, so the arrow faces to the back. And now pretty much you're good. The last piece is the nozzle of the valve, and this is what creates all the pressure. So I should have explained. You get it. The idea is the food gets crushed into these thin spaces and pushed forwards until it gets to these thicker wells, where now the fibrous material builds up, like its soft pulp builds up, and as it gets compressed together, I mean, this is like, I don't know, 32nd of a 64th of an inch gap, or it's extremely, probably less than that, 1600th of an inch gap. It's very tiny. So that's what allows the juice to get extruded in a way that doesn't start a breakdown process of the enzymes and the vitamins and minerals in the food. That's why this juicer is so superior. That's why I recommend getting a Green Star juicer, because it's this system that makes it so much more efficient. When you juice food and create heat against the food, the heat breaks down what's in it, and what that means you have to drink it right away. With this, you can jar up what you make in one session, one sitting, and then that will turn into 3 to 4 32-ounce mason jars, which you can drink 1 each day. Or in your case, you may want to do 2 each day, morning and night. That's what I would be drinking 3 of these jars every day. I would consult with my doctor first, of course, and I would start with 1, and I would go up to 2, and I would see how that treated me. And then I would go to 3, and I would just, and honestly, if I was in any type of perilous situation based on my life experience and what I understand, which is just my personal understandings and not any kind of facts, I would live only on this green juice and all the enzymes and probiotics that I could take literally hundreds every day. I would just take them constantly. I would just take as many as I could because you can't overdose on this kind of stuff. Enzymes can't overdose. There are cases of people taking thousands of these in a day for a short period of time. There are studies on enzymes that you can look up. There are medical studies on enzymes that you can look up, and it's one of those things that, how do you say, a lot of the doctors that study it tend to commit suicide. It's one of those things. So that's something you can look into. You can look into the murders in the last 6 months of holistic doctors that talk about exactly what I'm talking about. That is pretty interesting to look at as a trend. If you're a trends person and you're a data person, there's a lot of data points on that are worth investigating, and what I'm saying goes hand in hand with that. So it's the enzymes and the probiotics, which are the life, and maximizing the natural life in the food by sprouting foods and eating the raw living organic foods pulled right from the earth and taking those in as quickly as possible, and using digestive enzymes to break that down to a maximum, and then using the regenerative enzymes to break down accumulated fats, carbs, and proteins that are in the body.
Start juicing?
Oh, start juicing, right, okay. Let me start juicing. So my friends keep me on task here, sorry, you're listening to me dribble on. But I'm trying to relay the most important parts of my accumulated experience in a very short burst right now. So that's, for whatever it's worth, that's what I'm sharing with you right now. So I just need a bowl to take the pulp. Any kind of bowl will work here. And you have multiple tampers for a reason, depending on the consistency of the food. This one is really what you want to use for leafy greens and stuff that's like really fibrous like that and soft, squishy, and use this for harder stuff to push through, and you want to kind of alternate those two textures. So I like to start with the herbs, actually. I always start with the herbs, so I would recommend you do the same thing because they go through the machine very easily and quickly, and there's a rhythm to feeding it that I'll show you right now. It's pretty straightforward, but it's all little stuff you learn, technique or whatever you want to call it. We're doing it for years. So here we go. We're just going to jump right in. So I was trying to make a condensed video, Aaron, about this juicer mechanics and how to put together, and I ended up going on a tangent. I hope you find it worthwhile information. I think it's valuable information worth sharing, and I want you to check out my emphasized points, especially if you're interested in this kind of stuff. There's a lot to be seen there. That's worthwhile. And we're going to switch to a different video. I'm going to quickly just juice this and just show you how I juice it so you can just replicate this. And this is how to not clog the machine, not back it up, and make it go simple and smooth. And sorry for the verbosity.